Our next chapter is squares and square roots. Then we know the square numbers and we know the square roots. Then what do you mean by square? Yes. Why we say 4 is a square number? 4 is a square number, correct. Why we call the 4 as a square number? Because 4 we write as 2 square. 2 square. 2 square means, yes, its meaning is 2 into 2. 2 into 2 is 2 square, correct. Its meaning of 2 square is 2 into 2. Then 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Then why we call 4 as a square number? Because 4 is possible to write as 2 square. Why we call the 1 as a square number? Because 1 is possible to write as 1 square. Correct? Then why we call the 16 as a square number? Because 16 is possible to write 4 square. Correct? Then what is it meaning? What is the definition of square number? How do we say the number is a square? Then it's very clear here. The 4, 1, 16 all are natural numbers. 4, 1, 16, 9 like that. All any square number if you take there, the all are natural numbers. And these numbers also natural numbers. 2, 1, 4 all are natural numbers. Correct? Then how do we say this number is a natural number? This number is a square number. Then how do we conclude this number is a natural number? That means any natural number is possible to write as the square of other natural number. Then the first one is called a square number. For example, generally how do we define? If m is a if any natural number m, any natural number m can be expressed as n square. Okay, and if any natural number n can be expressed as n square, where n is also a natural number, then m is called square number. Then how do we say is a square number or not? If the given number is possible to write as the square of other natural number, then the given number is called a square number. If m is possible to write as in the form of m is a natural number, that natural number is possible to write as a form of a square of other natural number, then the first one is called a square number. Okay, for example x 36 is a natural number, correct. 36 is a natural number. This 36 is possible to write as a square of any other natural number. We think 36 is possible to write as a square of any other natural number. If we multiply any natural number twice, we get 36. Yes, that's possible here. What is that once? Then 6, correct. Then 36 is possible to write as a square of 6. That is 6 square. 6 is also a natural number. Then 36 is possible to express as in the form of a square of a natural number, correct. 36 നെ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ എഴുതാം? 36 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന നാച്ചുറൽ നമ്പറിനെ മറ്റൊരു നാച്ചുറൽ നമ്പറിന്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതാം. Then here is possible to convert the 36 as a square of other natural number 6. So we call 36 is a number. What we call it? 36 is a square number. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്ത് പറയാം? 36 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സ്ക്വയർ നമ്പർ ആണ്. Okay, 36 is a square of 6. 36 is a square of 6. Then what we call it? This 6. Yes, this 6 is a square root of 36. 36 is a square of 6 and 6 is a square root of 36. Okay, any natural number n can be expressed as n square where n is also a natural number, then m is called as a square number and n is called square root. What is called it? N is a square root and m is a square number. I think you got the idea how to be identify, how to be find the given number is a perfect square or not, a square number or not. We just think about this number is possible to convert in the form of a square of any natural number. That is possible there, then we conclude is a square number, otherwise is not. For example, 32. 32 is a square number. 32 is a square number, then 32 is possible to write as the square of numbers in between 5 and 6. If 32 is a square number, then how to we convert the 32 as a square of a natural number? Surely 32 is a square, then is possible to write as a square of a number between 5 and 6. 32 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു സ്ക്വയർ നമ്പർ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇതിനെ ഏതിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ആയിട്ടാണ് എഴുതാൻ പറ്റുക? ഇതിനെ 5നും 6നും ഇടയിലുള്ള ഒരു നമ്പറിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ആയിരിക്കും ഏത് 32 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Because 5 square is 25, then 32 is greater than 25, and 6 square is 36, then 32 is less than 6. So 32 is less than 36. So the number thus is possible to write the 32 as a square of any number. That number is lies between 5 and 6. But it's very clear, in between 5 and 6 we not have any other natural number. 5നും 6നും ഇടയിൽ എന്തില്ല? വേറൊരു natural number ഇല്ല. So we conclude the 32 is not possible to write as a square of any natural number. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പറയാം 32 എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിനെ നമുക്കൊരു നാച്ചുറൽ നമ്പറിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റില്ല. That means 32 is not a square number. Okay, now we got the idea about a square number and a square root. Here we are discussing some properties of square roots. The squares and square roots are very important because we need in all the cases we apply the idea of squares and square root in throughout the different cases of chapters. Okay, different chapters. Not only this year we need the application of squares and square root the next year also. It's very important part. Okay, squares and square roots. So the first we are discussing some ideas about the square root. Then here we are writing here the squares of 1 to 20. Okay, the squares of 1 to 20. You must study the squares of 1 to 20. Definitely you must study this one. Okay, otherwise we can't handle the squares and square roots. Clear? That mainly are the squares of 1 to 20 and square roots of 1 to 20. Then if you know this much, this one is very well, then it's possible to write the answers directly. Okay, then you must study the squares of 1 to 20 numbers. Then the 1 square is equal to 1, 2 square is equal to 4, 3 square is equal to 9, 4 square is equal to 16, 5 square is equal to 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81, then 10 square is 100, then 11 square is 121, 12 square is 144, 13 square is 169, 14 square is 196, 15 square is 225, 16 square is 256, 17 square is 289, and 18 square is 324, 19 square is 361, 20 square is 400. Then if we write the squares of 1 to 20 numbers, then is very clear. Then what are the square numbers here? Here the square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49 up to 400, correct? 80, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361 and 400. These numbers are called square numbers, correct? The square numbers is also called a perfect squares, okay? Perfect squares. They are same. Perfect squares and square numbers are same. Okay, then here is very clear, the square numbers are n's in some particular digits only. The unit place contain the square numbers only some digits. Is not existing all the digits here 0 to 9. Then it's very clear what are the unit place contains here in the square number. In the case of square numbers, that one is 1 4 9 6 5. Again 6 9 4 1 0 1 4 9 6 5 6 9 4 1 0. Correct. That means if the number is a square number, their unit place contains only the digits 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9. That means the square numbers are n's only the digit 0, 1, yes, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Okay, a number is a square number, then it should end only the digit 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Okay, that not means if the number is ends in 4, the number is a square number. ഓക്കെ, അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്തർത്ഥമില്ല, ഒരു നമ്പർ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് 4-ലാണെങ്കിൽ അത് സ്ക്വയർ നമ്പർ ആണ് എന്നർത്ഥമില്ല. ഓക്കെ, പക്ഷേ is maybe is a chance there. If the number is ends in a 4, then sometimes is a square number. Is not in all the cases. Clear? Example 3 2 1 2 4 2. Okay, this number is a square number. Any chance this number is a square number, then is very clearly is possible to say is not a square number. Why? Because the number is ends the digit 2. The number is ends the digit 2, so is very clearly is possible to say the number is not a square number. Why? Because the square numbers are ends only the digits 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. Then what is our first property? The first property is like this: the square numbers and only the digit 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9. Then I told you this not means if the digits nth number 9 is a square number. For example, 19. 19 is a number ends in the digit 9. Correct? 19 is a number ends in the digit 9, but is very clear 19 is not a perfect square number. Why? Because 19 is not possible to write as the square of any natural number. അല്ലേ, 19 എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിനെ നമുക്ക് മറ്റൊരു നാച്ചുറൽ നമ്പറിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റില്ല. ഒരു നാച്ചുറൽ നമ്പറിന് 2 പ്രാവശ്യം മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് കിട്ടില്ല? 19 കിട്ടില്ല. ബട്ട് ദ നമ്പർ ഈസ് എൻഡ്സ് ഇൻ ദ ഡിജിറ്റ് 9. Correct. So if the number ends in the digit any one of the digits is not means is a perfect square number, but maybe a square number. Okay, but is not in any other digit except these, is very clear is that number is not a perfect square number. Clear? So the next one, the next idea. Here the square numbers are ends in some digits. Okay, that means the square numbers are ends in the digits 1. Okay, 1, yes, 1, 1, 1. The square numbers are ends in the digit 1. The square roots are ends in the square roots are ends in 1 or 9. Correct? 1 or 9. That means if a number is ends in the digit 1 or 9, okay, if a number is ends in the digit 1 or 9, 1 or 9, the square is ends in the digit 1. Okay, if a number is ends in the digit 1 or 9, the square is ends in the digit 1. ഒരു നമ്പർ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒന്നിലോ ഒൻപതിലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ, ഒരു നമ്പർ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒന്നിലോ ഒൻപതിലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഏത് ഡിജിറ്റിലായിരിക്കും? 1ലായിരിക്കും, ഒന്നിലായിരിക്കും. Okay, that is the second idea. If a number is ends in the digit 1 or 9, the square is ends only the digit 1. That is the second idea, the second property of square number. If the number ends in the digit 1 or 9, the square of its ends in 1. Okay, the square of its ends in 1. That is clear. I think the idea is clear. ഒരു നമ്പർ ഒന്നിലോ ഒൻപതിലോ ആണ് അവസാനിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ ഏതിലാണ് അവസാനിക്കുക? ഒന്നിലാണ് അവസാനിക്കുക. As like the next idea, if a number is ends in the digit 2 or 8, okay, 2 or 8, the square is ends only the digit 4. If a number is ends the digits 2 or 8, the square ends only the digit 4. ഓക്കെ, ഒരു നമ്പർ അവസാനിക്കുന്നത് 2ലോ 8ലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ അവസാനിക്കുക ഏതിലായിരിക്കും? 4ലായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, സോ വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഐഡിയ? ദ തേർഡ് പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി, if the number ends in the digit 2 or 8, the square of its ends in 4. Okay, if the number is ends in the digit 2 or 8, the square of its ends in 4. Then next, if a number is ends in the digit 3 or 7, 3 or 7, the square is ends in the digit 9. The square is ends in the digit 9. Okay, if a number is ends in the digit 3 or 7, the square is ends in the digit 9. Okay, this is a very important. Then what is next? The fourth one. If the number ends in the digit 3 or 7, the square of its ends in 9. Okay, ends in 9. Then the fifth one. The next one is, if a number is ends in the digit 4 or 6, 4 or 6, okay, 4 or 6, if a number is ends in the digit 4 or 6, the square is ends only the digit 6. ഓക്കെ, ഒരു നമ്പർ അവസാനിക്കുന്നത് 4ലോ 6ലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ, 4ലോ 6ലോ ആണെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ സ്ക്വയർ അവസാനിക്കുന്നത് ഏത് ഡിജിറ്റിലായിരിക്കും? 6ലായിരിക്കും, 6ലായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഐഡിയ, ഇഫ് ദ നമ്പർ ends in the digits 4 or 6, the square of its ends in 6. Okay, if the number ends in the digit 4 or 6, the square of its ends in 6. The next one, here, if a number is ends in the digit 5, the square is also ends in the digit 5. Okay, If a number is ends in the digit 5, the square is also ends in the digit 5. That is very easily to identify, so we are not writing here. Then the one more idea. In all the cases of a square number, the square numbers contains only even number of zeros in the square. Okay, the square numbers is ends in the digit 0. Then what is the number of zeros in there? The number of zeros of the square number is always even number. Okay, that means 100 is ends in the digit 0. Then we just count if the number of zeros is even or odd. The number of zeros is even, then maybe is a square number. It's not sure, maybe is a square number. But if the number of zeros is ends in the digit 0, we just count the number of zeros. What is the number of zeros here? The number of zeros is 3. That one is odd. Correct? Odd. Then is very clear 1000 is not a square number. ഒരു നമ്പർ എൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് സീറോയിലാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക? അതിൻ്റെ നമ്പർ ഓഫ് സീറോസ് നോക്കുക. Is a square number, the number of zeros of that square number is surely an even number. Okay, is an odd number, then is very clear is not a square number. Clear? So we concluding the idea like this. Square numbers can have only one number of zeros at the end. Okay, we have some more ideas also, but these are the basic idea, the basic properties of square numbers. Okay, I think you got it, the idea what we discussed here.